Awesome. Moving on, we have Mr. Oscar O. Now, Oscar considers himself intermediate. Under what you want to improve, he says creativity and fundamental execution. He thinks his biggest weakness is doubles, and he's hoping that we can focus on technique. We'll talk about some of the technique stuff that you were showing in the first video, even though I'm not going to show the clip here, just because we're getting up for time here. Anyway, stop yapping. Let's check out some tunes.
So bad. Someday, baby, you're gonna worry my life. You're on my mind. Everywhere I go, how much I miss you. Someday, you ain't gonna worry my life.
Dude, seriously nice playing on this. I wish we had time to show more of it. You'd gone through quite a few tunes in that video that we just showed a clip of there, and of course there was a handful of minutes of getting into some hand technique stuff, some doubles and some paradiddles. But yeah, before we even talk about the hand technique or any of that, like seriously, I thought your pocket was awesome, man. You had a nice relaxed feel, your dynamics were on point, your ghost notes were nice and ghosty, while your accents were nice and powerful. Seriously, I thought you did a great job. And special bonus points for playing Tony Williams' Fred, the last one in this track. Sorry, the last one in that video. Super great choice there. One of my favorite tunes off that record. Now, what was I gonna say? Yeah, also with the doubles and the paradiddles, I thought they were sounding pretty great as well. There's a spectrum to how we can work on doubles. We're going to talk about that. But especially in the paradiddles, I really dug the phrasing. Again, I wish we had time to show more of these clips, but as you kind of sunk into those and you were playing with them around the toms and stuff like that, I thought you did a really good job of executing it. You're coming from a great place here, man. It's awesome. So let's talk about doubles. Now, for doubles, like I said, there's a spectrum to how you can execute these. Some require more technique than others, and I think you're kind of around sort of like step 2 for how we're kind of going about these. Step 1 would be kind of just like having tension with your hands and just sort of hoping for the best out of 2 notes. Basically doing a buzz, but trying to just get 2. Trying to get 2 notes apiece. Notice how my fingers kind of aren't really on the stick. I'm just using pressure and just sort of hoping for the best with 2 notes. You can get it pretty accurate with that, but there's not a ton of control. The second step, which is where you're currently at, is, at least as far as what I saw in the video here, is more kind of a double wrist motion, where I'll slow it down and kind of show you from the side. Basically just 2 wrist taps, and you can definitely get these up to a place where they're fairly useful as well. So but it definitely has a ceiling to how fast and how clean you can execute such a thing. The next step would be involving your fingers. So the way that I like to do it, basically German doubles here, I'll demo it on the right here so it's super easy to see. Basically you'd come down either with your arm or a wrist. I like arm because I like to save my wrist for accents. That's a discussion for another day, but you'd come down, the stick is gonna rebound after you've made that stroke. I'm gonna just manually push through it first. So you've hit the first note, the stick is gonna rebound and you let your fingers open up with it. So instead of it rebounding back like this, you're letting it rebound like this. What's important about that is that then your fingers can take the second note. So as they close back up, you're gonna hit it again. There we go. I don't know why it does that. That's frustrating as heck. Anyway, so your fingers will have taken that second note, and from there, you're gonna actually let it rebound back with how you instigated the note in the first place. If that's wrist, you're gonna bring your wrist back up. If that's arm, you're gonna bring your arm back up to where you started. So together looks like this. Again, we start with the arm, rebounds, and then we use our fingers to play the second note, and we bring it back to where we started. Nice thing about this is that you can play it really consistently, and when you work on getting a little bit of power with your fingers, you can even play it consistently on low-tuned drums, while getting power and having the notes sound even, where doubles. Now this is basically the thing that I used in my warm-up for probably 20 years. What you're gonna do is go through just having 16th notes with your arms. You can think about it as 8th notes if you want, it doesn't matter, but your arms are playing this, and you're gonna go through pretty much every rhythmic variation, most of them anyway, we do skip a couple, applying them as doubles. So if we had 1 E and a 2 E and a, so the first one we'd be putting on the double on the first note. So 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Sink into that for a little bit. Then we do the next one, we'd be sinking into putting it on the E. So 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a. Eventually we work through all 4 positions. We go through most of the variations of having 2 doubles within each of these beats, and then 3 doubles, and of course all the doubles. So it's a bit of an extended thing, and the cool thing is that it'll give you the ability to kind of put doubles anywhere you want within the pattern without it having to be a specific roll, but you can apply them however you'd like, which is really, really cool. I'm gonna cover hand things. Let's talk about creativity a little bit. I got a couple of suggestions for you here that I think are gonna be fun. One that I brought up a little bit earlier as well, Scott Pilgrim's How to Be Creative. This one's super fun because he's just a total sound weirdo. He's really good at making unorthodox statements on the drums by just playing them in such a way and making percussive sounds in such a way that you wouldn't necessarily think of just from like a typical, I'm gonna play the drums kind of mindset. It's an interesting side of creativity where we're kind of just like busting through the sound. Now, the second one that I want to suggest for you here, this one's kind of, well, I think this one's right up your alley here, where it's not about learning a bunch of different licks. It's not about learning a bunch of different patterns. What it is, this is Matt Garska's Creating Freedom by Building Systems, is it's teaching you how to basically explore rhythm in kind of a self-directed way. You can almost learn how to like rhythmically problem solve anything that you're kind of working on with this. The cool thing is that you're going to learn how to take ideas and explore them further, and the cool thing about that is that you kind of develop your own voice in this way, instead of it being the type of thing of like, oh, I'm going to learn all these different patterns and then I'm going to be creative with these patterns. You're basically learning how to arm yourself with the tools to just create something new and work with it that way. So I think that's going to be super, super beneficial for you, and especially considering your level of play, I think this is sort of right up your alley, man. So let's quickly recap these. Scott Pilgrim's How to Be Creative and Matt Garska's Creating Freedom by Building Systems. Those are going to be really, really fun for you on the creativity side of things, and I think the Garska one's going to be challenging in a really fun way as well. Anyway, man, that was sounding super awesome. I can't wait to hear the next one. Hit me up if you've got any questions, need help with any of this stuff. I'm going to send you an email later. It's got links to all this stuff in the show notes, so you can just reply to that. And yeah, dude, sounded great.